Hi, I'm Nina. Welcome to Nina in the Kitchen, where today we are making minestra maritata, which is escarole soup, or minestra, it means married soup. And I always thought it was because I've had it at weddings, but no, it's because of the marriage between the meat that's in the soup and the broth and the vegetables. And it is one of the best soups that once you eat this, it has to go in your repertoire. Hands down, one of the best. So it's actually a very simple soup. I'm starting with chicken stock, and I'm just going to put, this is a Parmigiano Reggiano cheese. It's only made one place on the planet, in Parma, Italy, and it is worth buying. So it's very nutty, it's mild, and this is not, there's no wax on this rind. It's just compressed and aged cheese. So you can take this rind, it lasts forever. Use the cheese up, and when you can't use any more cheese up, you put this into your stock. You can put it into the stock of any Italian soup, really. It's delicious. It's a nice little background flavor that it gives to the soup. So I wanted to show you that before I went any further, but before you actually make the escarole soup, you have to make meatballs. And the meatballs that I have seen people make are about the size of half of my pinky first digit. It's amazing. People take time to make these tiny, tiny little meatballs so that you can fit them on your soup spoon. I don't have that kind of patience, so here's how I do it. And by the way, this is the escarole that will go into the soup later. Make sure you wash that thoroughly. It grows well in sand, and so a lot of times you'll find sand. Depending on where you buy it, I've had to wash it up to 3 times before I got all the grit off of it, so just be careful of that. And here we go. This is, I have 1.5 pounds of meat here. It's half beef and half pork. If you don't like pork, you can use turkey, that's delicious, or you can just use all beef. That's perfectly fine, that's delicious too. I salt that. I have 2 eggs going in, and they're beaten. This is fresh parsley, and this is about almost 2/3 of a cup. There's a lot of parsley in there. And I have 3 medium-sized cloves of garlic, minced. That goes in. This is an artisan bread that I let go stale, and it's been in milk. And this makes your meatballs creamy and tender and delicious. So this is, might seem odd to you and to soak it in milk, but if you don't do this, the texture is just off. This is so delicious. And next up, I have a mixture of a Parmigiano Reggiano and a Pecorino Romano. And the Pecorino is a sheep's milk cheese. The Parmigiano is a cow's milk cheese. This is very mild and nutty. I like the sharpness of the Romano cheese, and that's what I grew up with. They're both delicious, and I'm going to mix the two in here just because I put the rind into the soup. I thought it'd be a nice little addition. That's a lot of cheese, and that's how I want it. And then this is just some black pepper. I'm going to mix this up, and you don't want to get your hands in and squish it. At first, I'm just going to toss it, and then just very gently mix this around. What I'm trying to do at this point is to just break the meat up, just so it's not clumpy, and then I'll get in there with my hands. So it's pretty much mixed right now, but it hasn't been squished. So now I'm going to go in with my hands and just sort of toss things around. I'm using my excuse me, I'm using my hand like a claw so that I'm actually just kind of stirring, sort of like an open-ended whisk. And that will keep it nice and light. Now, because I'm not going to stand here all day rolling tiny little meatballs like this, here's what I do. I take, this is a 1 tablespoon scoop. I'll take that. I actually cut it in half because you want these meatballs to fit on your spoon. So I'll just take a little meatball like that. And that's one of them. Cute, huh? In order to know where my seasonings are, what I'll do is I put some raw meat that I've already seasoned, just a little sampling of it, into a fry pan, and I'm going to taste that after it's cooked and just make sure that my seasoning is right. I do the same thing when I make a sausage, and probably other things I can't think of at the moment, but it's a great way. Yes, you have one more thing to clean, but it's better than having everyone say, "Eh." That's good. Okay, so I'm going to continue scooping, dividing, and rolling until I finish all of these meatballs, and I'll see you after that. Well, we're back, and I have everything ready to go for the soup. I have 8 cups of stock boiling. To that, I'm going to add, this is 2/3 of a cup of onions that have been chopped fine. Let me take this off. I have all of this escarole. This is 1 pound of escarole, and I weighed it for you because sometimes they're huge heads, and other times they're small, so this is 1 pound anyway, going into 8 cups. And I have some more standing by if that looks like it's going to be too little. I have 3 eggs that I have beaten with Romano cheese, some grated cheeses in here, just like that. And that is for what's called the stracciatella, which is, it means like torn rags. And it's an egg drop. And that happens at the very end of cooking. Over here I have, this is about a cup, it's about 6 ounces of pastina. And you can use orzo, but if you're an Italian-American kid, this is probably the first solid food you ever ate. Here are our meatballs. And what I do, because I don't want that scalding hot liquid on me, so I just drop them from a slotted spoon. And then you just stir as you go to make sure that they don't stick together. Although I don't think I've ever had that problem. And then after this, just by handsful, I'm going to put the escarole into the soup, or the escarole. I've chopped that so that they're not the big leaves, that's all. So easy chop. It's already starting to smell good. That the Parmesan rind that's in there is smelling pretty good. This is the escarole going in. And after I do this just has to cook for maybe 30, 40 minutes, something like that. I will time it and let you know. Well, it's been 20 minutes and this is really looking good and it smells really good. I'm just going to put the pastina in. These pastina are, any little pasta will do. This is just my favorite, just because that's always what we've used. That was 1 cup, and that's going to take about 4 minutes probably. And then the soup will be ready. The soup is ready. The pastina has cooked, and that took 4 minutes. Now I'm taking this mixture of eggs and cheese. I'm just going to put those into the soup. Stracciatella means torn pieces like rags. And this is how you do it. This was 3 eggs, and I want to say probably about 3 tablespoons of grated cheese. So you pour your eggs in, and then you just move your spatula through it, and there you have the egg drops. Those are your torn pieces right there, the stracciatella. And that makes it, for me, that just makes it Escarole soup. Different places around Italy do different things. In Rome, you would get the soup and they have a raw egg in the middle, and you'd mix it up yourself. I like it mixed in with cheese. Some people don't do the stracciatella at all, so it's up to you, but to me that's what makes it. Now you get to taste it. It's a little too hot. I think I'm going to wait just a minute on this one. I don't want to burn my mouth. But I'm excited. I'm adding a little more cheese because that's how I roll. More cheese, more better. Let me just take some of this for you. This is so satisfying and warm. It's great for, I don't know, days when you just want cozy food and maybe it's stormy outside, and it's salty from the cheese, but it just feels so nourishing. It's a healthy, delicious, satisfying soup, and I hope you try the recipe before I eat again. Bye guys. Thanks for watching.